Peggy popped her head in through the door. Hey, Ogu Pigu, have you seen my volleyball? I can't find it anywhere and I need it for practice. Yes, actually, in my spare time, I go around stealing other people's volleyballs quite frequently, so it's a good thing you asked. I glanced at the clock, it was 10 in the evening. Was it really? Because it definitely still looks light outside. Still looks like a very faint dark blue filter to me. You need practice at this hour? When else do you expect me to do it? I have class and work and club activities, and I'm trying to form a green commission at the university, but nobody's taking seriously, so if I want to do justice to the team, Right, well, I haven't seen it. Bloody hell, you were the last person I had to ask. So what, it's just vanished? That doesn't make any sense. No, I'm not helping you. Bugger off. Last I saw it, I put it away in my closet last night after practice. What exactly do you practice in your room anyway? You can't fit a volleyball net in there. Although she had certainly tried once. First I hit it up in the air, then I headbutted for a while. Last but not least, 30 minutes of striking practice against the far wall. It wasn't a mystery why someone would want the ball to vanish then. Yeah. Have you considered, taking other people's, feelings and not awfulness to heart? Because maybe you're the problem with this. Keeping people awake at night is generally not the best way to make friends, Peggy. I'll leave you to it, but if I find it, I'll let you know, okay? Fine, thanks anyway. You bet your bottom dollar that I'm not helping you at all. I am sleeping, motherfucker. How many days are going to pass? Cool, 6 days pass. I don't remember seeing that desk there before. I don't remember seeing that poster there before. It looks awful. What is this music? I just walked into the hostel after a long day of work when a high-pitched scream hit the ceiling, bounced off the walls and tripped down the staircase. I flew up the stairs to approximately where I heard the source of noise, Jihio's room. What's wrong? Angelo was already there, hands raised as if in a boxing ring. My new carton of oil paints, they're gone! Oh, is that all? Jihio turned to Angelo, a look of utter horror on her face. They were new, I just bought them, they cost me money. Yes, Angelo, what do you mean that's all? This is stealing, isn't it? Really, Angelo? You can buy more, can't you? Oh, right. He doesn't quite realise the concept of money because he's been rich his whole life. She practically began frothing at the mouth. Do you know how expensive art supplies are? A few quid? Yes, the finest oils and paints and brushes are indeed a few pounds. Quid meaning pounds. If they're so cheap, how about you buy me some new ones? Angelo bristled. It's not my job to pay for you, I'm not your boyfriend or your father. I wonder if there's a scene that's gone by which Angelo hasn't said something sexist. Or weird. What? It's not my father's job to pay for any of my things? Whatever. You're kind of a dick, Angelo. Okay then. I felt that it was time to step in before they strangled one another. I think Angelo was about to walk off. We'll make an announcement at dinner. Hopefully someone will have seen them. I guess so. The look of mourning on Jihio's face told me she didn't expect to see those oil paints ever again. That lingering sentence means they will show up at some point. Look at my hair. It's terrifyingly bad at the moment. And she was right. We made the announcement at dinner, but no one had seen anything. 3 things had gone missing at this point: a frying pan, a volleyball, and a set of oil paints. I don't understand that. Why did you hide the frying pan? The frying pan was doing good things for us, wasn't it? Not very interesting items on their own, not very valuable or tied together by any obvious thread, except that they were all important to their owners. When I made the announcement, I watched everyone carefully for a reaction. Ashley looked bored, Brendan glared, Danny started to fidget, and Mark began tapping out in the Hall of the Mountain King using his fork and glass. Not altogether unusual behaviours, but not revealing in the least. So, who did it? Who was taking all these things, or was it really just a coincidence? No, I think someone is doing it at this point. What do we even have if someone tries to take it from us? What, they're gonna take Danny? It doesn't seem very likely. It didn't seem like I'd be getting any answers for now. Unless this is Brendan's idea of a big comeback. His way to get back of us is steal stuff from everyone and then plant it in our room. teaming up with Assy or something. I was finishing up a simple decompression exercise when I got a new email notification from Nene. Hey Okipigu, just woke up, had to go out late in a panic last night to get my tax return to the post office, lol. Lol. Who writes lol in an email? Oh crap. In a panic, I checked the calendar. April 16th, one day too late. Was I supposed to file a US tax return? Was I going to be sued and audited and sent to prison like Al Capone? Well, hang on. Let me just look at my watch. Nope. Still no job in the US. So I think you're okay. I spent several frantic hours researching tax laws and sending messages to my parents. In the end, it looked like I would be granted an automatic extension to file because I was out of the country. I just needed to get my papers in order in the next month or so. Wait, why do you need to do a tax return if you don't have a job? I'm confused. I really needed to pay more attention to these things in the future. I don't know, maybe something to do with school. Shrug. I'm glad that was a scene. What in the... What? What is this? What is this? These are my own eyes. It's not a photo. If I do this, I can see my hands clearly here as I can see the things in front of me. They're not blurry. I'm looking at my hands right now to the side of my eyes. My hands are not blurry because that's simply not how vision works. Why are they... Whatever. The trees are blurry for some reason. I've just realised this screen doesn't actually fit. How very peculiar. You guys are supposed to... I was about to bring this up and then realised it wasn't there properly. What is this? This looks more like the Slender Man than it looks like a piece of tree. However, whatever. I can't believe you've never gone pumpkin picking before. Never even carved a pumpkin. I can't believe you found a farm that grows pumpkins near London at this time of the year. It's completely the wrong season. I'd probably also bring something up about that. Pumpkins are universal. Fun is universal. Ha! You sound awful. I'm not sure those statements are valid. I shook my head and pushed further onto the field. Look, it doesn't matter why there is a pumpkin patch in the middle of Surrey in April. What matters is that there is. Sure, why not? Who needs them for Halloween, am I right? Just grow them at literally the opposing time of the year. Maybe it was an act of God, divine intervention, an Easter miracle. I suppose that's sacrilegious. Oh, look at this one, it's so cute. It's a pumpkin. How inanimate. How can it be? It's inanimate. How can it be cute? Well, carve a little face in it and we'll show you. Let's carve a little cute hollow face into it. It'll be amazing. I want to take it home with me. It's adorable. Why don't you get it then? It's too small to carve. It doesn't really fit off purpose. I patted the pumpkin's top. I'm not reading that line. Danny rolled his eyes. Eventually, we both got medium-sized pumpkins and brought them back to the hostel. We borrowed some kitchen supplies from Ashley and sat down to carve our gourds. Gouds? I don't know what they are. It's not too hard. Some people go freestyle, but if you use a marker to draw the design before you... Done. What? Danny proudly displayed his pumpkin, which he carved into a face. My face. How? Not important how or why. What's more important is that it happened. How do you make a pumpkin that? How is that made into a pumpkin? It's a pumpkin. How much chocolate spread have you used for our hair? Apparently, he had some very impressive skill with knives. What an awful way to look at it. What are you going to carve? I glanced at the smiley face I had drawn on the front of my pumpkin and turned it to the side a bit. Nothing. He laughed. Here, let me help you with that. In the end, our two little pumpkin faces sat side by side near the entrance to the hostel, festively welcoming visitors to the wrong time of the year. Why are we doing pumpkins now? I don't particularly understand. Was there something in March? Oh, sorry, April, that helps... that's an American thing you have pumpkins for. Whatever. I have to admit, that was rather fun. Wasn't it? Pumpkin carving is one of my favourite things to do around the holidays. Well, I have a surprise for you. Do you? I shot up from where I was laying on the floor. What is it? Ta-da! Danny ceremoniously pulled the tiny pumpkin I'd cooed over earlier from the pocket of his jacket. Oh my goodness, Felicia. She called it Felicia. Of course she did, why wouldn't she? I grabbed it from him and kissed its little orange cheeks. They're not cheeks, it's just pumpkin skin. You've come to stay with me. Grinning, I placed the pumpkin on my desk. Danny watched, shaking his head. I don't think I'll ever understand you. You don't want to. I'm not meant to be understood, only appreciated. Shudder. Teen love. Shudder. Well, I think I can do that. Literally shudder. That night, Ashley cooked dinner for the hostel again. Was there even more things missing this time? It was one of those rare occurrences where everybody was able to attend. Even James was there, though, grudgingly. I wondered whether there was something in his contract that forced him to spend a requisite amount of days with us in the hostel, or perhaps he just really liked Ashley's cooking. He probably liked free food. If I'm guessing rightly, he makes us all, like, mow the lawn completely illegally, so... Regardless, despite the number of people, we sat in stark silence, lost in our own heads. The fact that items had been going missing around the hostel had made things tense among everyone. Not to mention nobody wanted to look like a troublemaker around James, so calling out anyone or even pointing out there was a problem would essentially be snitching. Really? Something of mine has been stolen, therefore I'm a snitch. I'm not sure I'm completely okay with these laws. I doubted anything would be done about it, even if we mentioned it. James would probably be happy to punish someone who'd done wrong, but he wouldn't lift a finger to investigate for himself, probably. No one knew or wanted to talk to each other. We were only there for the food. Finally, Jahio cleared her throat. So I've been thinking. Angelo snorted and Jahio glared at him. Yes, you were saying? What if we all went on a joint trip to the beach? I know things have been stressful around here, what with our homework and everything. She glanced nervously at James, who looked as if he was about to disagree, but... Oh my gosh, yes! I don't want to go to the fucking beach. The nearest beach is like... We're in London, right? So, fucking an hour and a half away by train? Fuck that, I don't want to go to the beach. That's beyond any amount of effort. I don't know whereabouts in London we are. London is a big place, and the only thing they've said is we're in London. But... I mean, that's a long time to get to the beach for something... I mean, if we're going to Brighton, which is where I imagine we'll be going from London, it's too far to go to the east coast and left coast, and you're not going to go too far either way. It's just going to be the sea and pebbles, mate. What are you expecting? Oh, whatever. We totally have to do this. I haven't been to the seaside in yonks, not since that soggy June with my friends. With my six. I'm trying to think what would... You know, I don't want to know what it says. The whole hostel together, a recreational excursion. It'll be great, yeah. I can't wait for James's skin to start burning under the light. I'm not planning any excursion. I'll do it, I'll plan everything. That sounded like a terrible idea. You'll help me, Danny, won't you? Why not? It sounds like a good enough idea. It really doesn't. Stop trying to encourage her. If Danny was helping her, maybe she stood a chance. Really? James snorted. Consider the finances. You need travel, food, and room and board for all of us. With so many, it wouldn't come cheap. We can get a group discount. We're students. If you go as our chaperone, perhaps we can convince them it's a class trip. And the hostel would be shut and empty during that time, costing me money. It wasn't like this hostel took on a lot of stray guests. We're permanent residents. We're usually the only ones here. No security either. With everyone gone, have to hire someone to look after the place, watch the water. Now he was just making up excuses. Oh, yes. Locking the door normally works, and even if they did get inside, what are they going to find? Oh, look! We don't have a frying pan. Like, oh, look, there's a shit poster on the wall. And arranging time off work for those in the program, who would then not be earning, can do it for less than £600 a head. £600? Okay, now... That's about $1,000 for those that don't know. You could probably organise a trip to France for 2 days and a piss up for 600 quid. Saying you couldn't go down to the beach for a day for 600 quid is just ridiculous. Each? For a couple of days at the beach, even if everyone had separate hotel rooms, that sounded way too high for a minimum. Looking around the table, everyone else seemed to agree with me. May the 5th, it's my free weekend, leave on the Friday, back on the Monday, it's the only time. So if you each put down that amount by the deadline, we can go. Get me the cash by May the 2nd. Peggy clamped her mouth shut, an unspoken agreement sounded amongst the boarders. That was as good as we were ever going to get from him. Oh! He's also factoring our time away as lost opportunity to earn money, sure. Right, get to it then. He stood, brushed himself off, and left the room. As soon as he was gone, Peggy shot her arms to the sky. Yes, we're going on a beach trip. No, we're not. £600, Mark. You may be French, so you don't understand how much that is, but it's a lot. I don't mind this at all. Good luck getting all that money. Hey, if we just pile on a few more hours, it shouldn't be that hard, right? We're like late April. I'm here to explore England, not to work myself to the bone. Yeah, finish your food before it gets cold, why don't you? There are seconds if you want them. And so it was settled. We'll all be heading to the beach May the 5th if we could cough up the dough. There was less than 2 weeks before James's deadline. Even if I got the extra hours of my job, I wouldn't get to keep the whole wage. A share of everything I made went straight back to the hostel. And I knew better than to hope James would count that as my contribution. He's definitely not. To be fair to him, he shouldn't. Because... Nah, I'm sort of with James on that one. He shouldn't. That is actual staying costs at the hotel. That's whilst you're here. It would really suck if everyone else went on the trip without me. Is Danny going to pay for this now? Is this what it's going to do? I know! Right, Danny did some weird things when he was smaller. We can just shank a fool. We're already at May the 2nd. The night before the cash deadline, I pulled out the bank balance. As I read the number, my heart dropped. Little over 400 quid, not enough for the trip. I was so close if only I had more time, but I knew better than expect James to cover the difference or let me pay him back later. So, was that it? Was I just not going? I collapsed into my chair, completely at a loss. I'm expecting a knock-knock. Well, I mean, hardly a guardian angel, but close enough, I think.